Welcome to the Boxing Talk Show, fair but firm, with the Hall of Fame boxing referee. I'm Joe Cortez and co-host John Zemel for all of Las Vegas. Come on, guys, let's touch them up. Clean fight. I'm Joe Cortez, fair but firm. Welcome to the Fair but Firm show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the boxing capital of the world. I want to wish you all a happy President's Day. Of course, here we celebrate that in the United States. And of all our veterans, we want to thank you for serving. And John, it's a great day.
It is a great day, man. It's a very happy President's Day.
We had a little snow last night, but
yeah, it was. It was snowy out there, man.
Snowy here in Las Vegas, you know. I mean, in the middle of the desert, but it came down a little bit last night. You look at the mountains today. We're in the valley, so all surrounded by mountains. I look at the mountains on the northwest side.
Snowy mountains, man.
So, yeah, you go skiing there today.
You could go skiing at Red Rock if you wanted to. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, no, the other way. If you don't do any boxing, you want to go skiing, up in Red Rock. Mount Charleston is a place that
Mount Charleston's where I'd recommend it, yeah. But you can go anywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, this past weekend, we had some good fights. Little Santa Cruz for Rafael Rivera. Everybody thought Rafael Rivera was going to be a walkover, and it wasn't, even though it was a very competitive bout. But the judges all had it just about every round for Leo Santa Cruz. But this kid, Rafael, take my hat off to you. Your stocks went up because you stood in there with the best.
Well, I think there's a discrepancy there. I don't think anyone, here's the deal. It was competitive in the sense that it was action-packed, correct? Like there was a lot happening. It's a Leo Santa Cruz fight, a lot of punches thrown. But at any point, did it feel dramatic to you? Did it feel like he was in trouble at any point?
No, he was not in trouble. I mean, he
controlled the fight.
He landed over 1,200 punches.
Which is crazy.
And Rafael landed about 800, threw about 800 some odd punches. But it's very competitive. What I like about Rafael Rivera was that at the end of it, when he heard the 10-second warning, they got into a slug match. They were slugging it out there for the last 10 minutes of every round. So I was looking forward to the last 10 seconds of every round because he really gave it all he had.
How about these PBC on Fox showcases? We had Josecito versus Keith Thurman, which ended up being incredibly, competitive. We had the Charlo brothers versus Korobov and Harrison, which one of them ended up being an upset. The other one very competitive. We had, obviously this last fight that no one expected, Rivera ended up being very competitive. I think the least competitive of all these PBC fights was Broner versus Pacquiao. Other than that, I've been very impressed with the quality of competition they put on.
They put up good fights, and it's good for the fans because the fans don't want to see no bloopers out there.
You don't want to see walkthrough.
They want to see something competitive, at least like Rafael, even though he lost, but he put up a fight. He was not looking for a soft spot on that ring. He was out there.
He wasn't there to lose, man. He wasn't there for a paycheck. He wasn't there to up his profile. He was there to win a fight, and I was proud of him for it.
A lot of these young fighters coming out of Mexico, especially like this kid came from Tijuana, nobody knew of him. They were just like Jaime Munguia. Nobody knew about Jaime Munguia. Now he's a big star in boxing today. Yeah. So Mexico does produce a lot of talent, and it's just a matter of being at the right place at the right time. And it didn't happen for Rafael, but he's going to be in the mix.
And like you said, his stock went up. You say his stock went up, and you were right. You were right on about that. Yeah. Let me ask you some questions about Leo Santa Cruz because I have some. Leo Santa Cruz is a guy who's on the outskirts of the pound-for-pound list, right? He's only lost the one fight. He lost to Carl Frampton. He beat him, afterwards. Very competitive fight. I wish they'd get a grudge match, and I think that might be on the horizon, even though Frampton says he's retired. Yeah. It's not. It wouldn't be surprising if he came back for that grudge match. However, this is a guy who has a legion of fans that travels wherever he's going, usually California, but they'll go wherever. They cheer louder than anyone, anywhere. You know what I mean? But he doesn't have a lot of mainstream appeal. He's not a pay-per-view style fighter. Right. What do you think do you think he's reached his ceiling when it comes to popularity? No,
I think he still has a ways to go. First of all, he's a fighter that has, he's still 130 pounder. He still has the height to go up to a lightweight. I mean, even junior lightweight 140. So, I think he's still got a little ways to go. He's still young, but...
he's 30, though.
Well, he's 30, but he's still he's a young 30 because it doesn't really take that much of a punishment.
No, he doesn't.
And but I think he still has a little ways to go. He'll become a little bit more household name if he keeps on fighting fighters at a higher division.
What's your dream fight for him? Is it Gary Russell Jr.? Is it Loma?
That would be the fight. Lomachenko or Russell Jr. would be good.
I'd like to see him with Warrington.
Yeah.
I think he'd beat Valdez.
Well, it'll be. He still has a bunch of fighters up there that would be a good matchup for him because he definitely is got what it takes.
And he's smiling all the time.
He's always smiling.
I love his smile,
even when you hit him with a punch, he'll smile at you and say, "Okay, I'm smiling at you, buddy. I'm gonna kick your butt."
He's super charismatic, and like I said, his fans love him, and it's cool. But some people, they just don't ever cross that mainstream, and that's okay. You know, I mean, but I am curious. When I see a guy like that who's just oozing charisma and talent, you wonder, what is the ceiling for a guy like this? And at 30, I think it's fair to ask that question.
Yeah, you never know, because he gets this unknown fighter. Like I remember when Jesse Magdaleno lost to the dog bowl last year. I mean, from South Africa, nobody knew of him. And he became an overnight star. And then he got beat by another Mexican, Navarrete, who gave him a pounding. And you know what? But that was boxing for you.
That's one of the low-key rematches of the year that I'm looking forward to, is that Dogbe Navarrete fight. Because I think Dogbe's more talented, but he can't fight up. And unless he can learn how to fight a guy that much taller than him, then he's going to lose again. And
you have a lot of fighters, John, that have difficulties with fighters that got the height on them. Mike Tyson did okay with guys more or less his height.
Okay is an understatement.
But when he started fighting guys tall, like
every heavyweight,
like the heavyweights that he lost to, Lennox Lewis, Buster Douglas, there was guys that he had difficulties with those guys, and that's why Deontay Wilder had difficulties against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury,
punching up.
Yeah, punching up. It was tough. It's not the same when you're punching down.
No.
Your whole career, all the time you got to start punching up.
It's a different animal, man. We've seen it a bunch of times.
Yeah, so it happens. So that can happen with Leo Santa Cruz, going up in weight. You never know.
If he goes up in weight, because he's taller, I'd like to see him. I'd potentially like to see him against Tank, against Gervonta Davis, but I think Gervonta's just too big for him, even though he's taller than Tank. I think Gervonta's naturally 135-pounder.
If you learn how to fight the guy, to keep him at bay, and keep him at bay, just keep moving. Don't let them come in. If you let them come in, you're in trouble. And that's when a good boxer,
that would be a fun fight.
Boxer like Tyson Fury, he kept Deontay Wilder at bay with combinations from a straight right hand. He wasn't throwing no leaping punches. When you throw leaping punches, you're telegraphing. They see it coming. When you call it from here, bam, it's straight. When you come out here,
he didn't throw a single straight right.
They know it's coming, and that's why fighters got to learn how to throw punches straight. Straight punches get in there. Bobby, we get in there, but the straight punches are the ones that really connect better. They're quicker. They're bang, as to when you go like this,
looping.
Looping, you see it coming.
Yeah, it's got more knockout power, but if you see it coming, you can easily.
I don't know about knockout power, because by the time it reaches its
destination,
it loses power.
When you're here, got that momentum.
Bing, like when George Foreman knocked out Michael Mora, it was a wicked straight right hand. It was bing like that. And Mora went out.
I think, but big punchers are built differently, though, right? Like a Deontay Wilder who's long like that. I think when he gets that momentum, because it's not all muscle, it's more length.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times those. But when you telegraph, it doesn't matter, does it? If the punch doesn't land, doesn't matter how powerful it is. But we got to do this now because you brought it up. So allow me to speak for fight fans. Because today, Tyson Fury signed a very big deal, or it happened kind of last night today, and so we brought it up. We got to talk about it. He signed an 80 million, 80 million pound 5-fight deal with Top Rank to co-promote his fights with Frank Warren, his usual promoter, which puts the Wilder rematch that seemed like a sure thing. They've talked about like a sure thing. They've talked at each other like it was a sure thing. That puts it in some serious jeopardy, and I just like to. I like to speak on behalf of all fight fans when I say ha, because this is very frustrating, Joe. Can you talk me off a bridge here? Tell me why I should.
Everything is a business, so you never know. I mean, nothing is really written in stone yet. They're talking about it. A good possibility it may happen. The promoters are looking for where they can get the best money, for the less chances of fighting.
Danger for their fighter.
Less danger. They want to keep the golden goose. They want to make sure they don't lose them. But so they may take a little bit cut as compared to maybe 100 million that they would have been taken with the other deal.
Cut though, Joe.
But they cut a lot of money off. But they got more security in.
You know who Top Rank's best heavyweights are? Like Joseph Parker and Kubrat Pulev. I don't want to watch those fights. Yeah, and I love Tyson Fury. I could watch him fight. I'd watch him fight me, but I wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah. But the thing is that there's sometimes the money comes about and there's nothing's written on stone yet, and sometimes some of the information put out there by the media, it could be like fake news. It's not 100% yet, but we'll see what happens in the next week or two.
I will say this, one thing we always make sure that we do, especially on this show, is we give credit to fighters who are getting money. Too many times these fighters end up without money. They end up broke at the end of their career. So anytime a fighter's getting money, I don't want to discriminate. You know what I mean? I don't want to disparage them. Good for you, Tyson Fury. Way to come back from what you came from. You donated that big check.
Yeah, he donated all $80 million.
No, he donated $7 million.
$7 million.
That's a lot of money, though.
I mean, he donated $7 million. I mean, he could donate $700,000 or $1 million, but donate your whole paycheck.
Well, he donated the whole original purse. Yeah, but pay-per-view cut, we're not sure about.
Okay, and that's what.
It was at least $4 million. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but Anyway, there's a good thing on his gesture. He goes to show him because he knew where he came from. He will pay it forward.
Yes.
But he got to make sure that he's set up for himself for the future.
And I'm all for that. But as a fight fan, I want to see that rematch, man. I want to see that rematch.
You can donate that kind of money. That shit has a kind of a law. So you donate that kind of money, man, you don't pay taxes for the next 10 years.
You better not. You better not. Manny Pacquiao, then you just don't pay taxes anyway.
Oh, but the thing is that, what do you mean you don't pay no taxes?
No, he did. Remember, he had some trouble and then he fixed it.
Oh, yeah, he fixed that.
Yeah, he fixed it. It's all good. But he does more charity than anybody, so, he's the best at it.
Yeah, but we like to see these fighters, make some money, but of course I like to see them. I'm talking to some people who are trying to set up something where some kind of annuity funds for these fighters so that they can save their money and have something to come back with when they retire.
I like that idea,
After
Joe.
the age of 45, you can start withdrawing some money on a monthly
Like a pension kind of? Like a pension situation?
Yeah, but I understand Mark Breland, who trains Deontay Wilder, he was former Olympic champion. He was a WBA champion as well, the welterweight champion. And
Big puncher, too.
And his managers put his money away for him and helped him out. So it's an annuity fund, so this way he was able to live for the rest of his life.
Support his daughter, make sure that's all taken care of.
Out of interest, So if you can live off interest, if you can adjust to that, that would be a good way to go. But anyway, I like to see these fighters get more educated as far as finances is concerned. Put that money away. Don't spend it all because it's not going to be there coming forever.
What does this mean for Deontay Wilder? If he doesn't get that rematch and Anthony Joshua's coming to America, does this mean that he just takes a tune-up and then takes the Joshua fight eventually, like we all thought he was going to?
It could be. Whoever he fights, he's going to be making at least, a minimum $5 million
I think $5 is a good amount for...
and he'll fight some Palooka out there or somebody that could just give him a decent fight. And
we thought Tyson Fury was
But everybody wants to see the Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder fight. And I think that's going to happen eventually. It's going to be like they're talking about Canelo and Triple G. It took almost 4 years to happen. It finally did happen, and they fought, twice already.
Two beautiful
two great fights. So
great fights, all times.
They're still young enough. Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder.
Deontay's not that young.
Yeah, okay, but even if they wait 2 years or so, 3 years before they fight, it'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
And I think that it'll be good for the fans. The fans will be, oh, come on, they want that fight. We want it. And eventually it's going to happen. Then what they're going to do is just building up the ticket sales.
Yeah, it makes sense. But, for someone who was really looking forward to that rematch, and I know it wasn't just me, I know most of you guys were too. A lot of fans out there, especially our British fans overseas, a lot of our into boxing people. I know you were kind of upset at the decision. You were disappointed by the decision the judges went in by making it a draw last time. You wanted to see some retribution for Tyson Fury. Looks like we're going to have to wait a little longer to see that. But good for him. He's filling his pockets, and I'm never going to disparage that.
Yeah. I was watching the highlights of that fight the night before last. And when they announced that decision of draw, you can see Tyson Fury was like upset, but he kind of like went over and hugged Deontay Wilder, it was a big thing, but it was good. So I feel like a lot of big fights are coming up, and again, let's go away from the heavyweight division right now. And one of our fans out there is asking.
I love when you guys ask questions.
They're asking about the Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence Jr. fight. Well, Errol Spence Jr. fight could be with Mikey Garcia. It could be a good one. I still say that Mikey Garcia was a 3-time division champion, unified champion. Mm-hmm. In other words, he held all belts and all divisions that he won his title, which is 3 different divisions. So he's not a walkover for Errol Spence.
It's not a walkover for anybody.
And plus, he's undefeated. So Errol Spence is a good fighter. He's a good welterweight. He's a southpaw. He's a good body puncher. But Mikey Garcia,
24-0 with 21 knockouts.
Yeah,
let's not walk over Errol Spence's resume.
Yeah, but Mikey saw something that made him feel like, you know what, I want to take Errol Spence.
I gotta say, I got so much love for what Mikey Garcia is doing here, man. How many people do this? This is what Tyson Fury just did, right? He comes back, he fights the best. Right. Mikey Garcia has been trying, fighting all these people. He knows that the ultimate fight for him is probably Lomachenko, but because of his history with Top Rank, that was never gonna happen. At least not for a long time, not till it's built up a little bit more. So what does he do? He goes a little bit higher. He's only fought at 140 one time. And then he says, I'm gonna pick out the biggest, baddest guy at 147, who's the easiest fight to make because they're both on the same promoter, under the same PPC umbrella, and we're gonna make a PPC. We're gonna have a PPC PPV, which is PPC pay-per-view, and I'm super excited about it. Good for you for coming at. Way to be a warrior. Way to want to build a legacy, and win, lose, draw, anything. You have my respect, my ultimate respect for taking on that challenge. That is phenomenal. But from a boxing standpoint, I said, he's only fought at 140 one time.
Yeah, only one. But I still think that he's confident of himself. He's about 5'7" in height, so Errol Spencer is about 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, and big.
Yeah,
Spencer's a big one.
Big, and he's a southpaw too. Yes. To top it, as a southpaw, it's even more difficult. When you're fighting a southpaw, it's not like we're fighting a right-handed fighter. Oh, yeah. So you're gonna, but Mikey Garcia says, I can beat this guy. He's seeing his flaws. He knows what he can. And when you're an expert in boxing like Mikey Garcia,
he is though.
That's why he's undefeated. That's why he's won championship in 3 different weight classes.
He might be the greatest fundamental fighter in the game right now. It's him, Terrence Crawford, Vasily Lomachenko. Yeah, those are probably the 3 greatest fundamental fighters in the game right now.
And he's undefeated. He hasn't been hurt by anybody. And apparently, he has his brother, Robert Garcia, who's a former lightweight champion.
One of the best trainers in the game.
He's his trainer and one of the best in the game, yeah.
Absolutely.
And so I think that Mikey Garcia has a good chance. So I hope that answers your question. He has a good chance against.
I wanted to touch on that fight because it's coming up soon. It's coming up sooner than it's next month, man. We've been kind of straying away because we knew we'd be talking about it a lot, but I'm glad we could touch on it today. Thank you, fans, for giving us an easier transition to it, because otherwise, it might not have been as easy. So I appreciate you guys bringing it up, and I'm glad we were able to touch on it. We got a fight this weekend. That I'm excited about. We got James Degale versus Chris Eubank Jr. Now, Chris Eubank Jr., he obviously the son of Chris Eubank Sr., the former fighter who you refereed before, correct?
The father, yes.
Yes, the father, yes. And Jr. looked good. He always, he had some flaws, but he was coming up, and he was in the World Boxing Super Series, super middleweight division, went up against George Groves, and he lost. George Groves eventually ended up losing in the next round. Now, when you...
Were you talking about the next round?
The final of the World Boxing Super Series, yes. Right. They actually both lost to George Groves at one point in their career, which is funny. But James Degale is older. He's 33. A lot of people think his best years are behind him. He had that draw against Bout Jack. He just, he doesn't seem like he's still the fighter of old. But Chris Eubank Jr. never really lived up to his potential. He fought a good fight in his last fight. He's been training with the Mayweathers, which has been really good for him to get, a different perspective than maybe what his father was giving him. Now, James Degale said that the loser of this fight needs to retire, that his career's over.
Well,
do you think it's that serious?
No. I don't think. You guys are still in their prime, It doesn't mean it because they lose. That's nothing. You lose a fight, you come back. All champions come back after defeat. You're a quit.
It's not about falling down. It's about getting back up.
You're a loser if you quit.
What does this fight mean for either one of their legacies?
Well, the stocks go up a little bit. I mean, they stand to make more money if fighting. Grove, and there's other fighters out there that are looking to fight these guys.
Is this one of those fights that feels like it's just going to be where if Eubank wins, then big deal, he beat an old Degale. But if he loses, then he was never that good anyway, and big deal, Degale exposed Eubank for the. I mean, is either one of them going to get the credit they deserve for beating the other one?
Well, that's how, it depends how you look at it. The fans want to. If you're a Degale fan, you'll say, "Come on,
you want to discredit Eubank."
Yeah, exactly.
And Degale's got a lot of fans.
And Eubank people will say, we told you we're better, so
that makes sense.
It's a big back and forth, mouth. It's good for promoting the fight.
I couldn't agree more, man. I like those guys, and it's good. And I know all of our fans overseas, they've been looking forward to that fight, and they should be. And we'll be watching for sure. It's on at like 2 p.m. here. That's what I like about it, man. We get done, we have a radio show. We get done, we have some lunch, and then we got fights in Britain. That's what I love about British fights, man. Absolutely.
They have a lot. I tell you, Great Britain has come a long way. Like I said before, I take off my hat for the good trainers out there. What you're doing is and promoters putting those fights together. I mean, you're doing a lot for boxing. They have a big fan base out there. They really follow their athletes, not only in boxing, but in soccer and rugby. And there's so much that the British like to
really... they fight. They go hard when it comes to their sports, man. They are into it.
I mean, they're big fight fans. I mean...
Now they are, right?
Yeah, well...
It's exciting.
Yeah, they were all into soccer and rugby before, but now... They're really falling into.
I love how much I love what they do for this sport, and I love how.
And when they all get together, they all start singing, rooting together.
Yeah.
I remember when Ricky Hatton was here in town, and when Lennox Lewis.
There's only one.
I mean, they're really, and oh man, there was Barry. There were so many great fighters out there.
They chant and they rant and they rave and they're so exciting. Hey, I want to make sure I mention, because it's President's Day. We have a very special President's Day episode. So I want to make sure I want to do something presidential, and I want to call out the presidents who've been involved with boxing, and there's been a lot, but I want to make sure the ones that boxed themselves. Teddy Roosevelt and Dwight Eisenhower both boxed in their younger years, in their formative years. And then Gerald Ford, a guy who was only really known as being Nixon's, the guy who took over for Nixon after he unceremoniously resigned. He was not only the captain or not only the coach of the Yale boxing team, but he also coached boxing in the Navy. So that's a guy who who knew the game in and out. And I want to take my hat off to Gerald Ford for being greatest president boxer there ever was. So
exactly, there was a lot of presidents that really loved boxing.
Yeah.
And I remember talking with Clinton and about boxing, and he kind of liked it. I never saw him at a live event. But I would love to have seen a president come to a live event.
Our current president had quite a hand in boxing history. There's not the very few fights you can watch. Any fight out of Atlantic City, you'll see his name somewhere on the side.
Trump Plaza.
Trump Plaza, yeah. So you ref many fights there, right?
I referee many fights there.
Many fights there, yeah.
And I remember Tyson fighting there, and so many great fights I refereed throughout the years, and it was always an honor, fighting being at those big fights.
Absolutely.
And it was just. But here in Las Vegas, you had some governors will attend the fights.
Oh, cool.
That was an honor.
But it's not Governor's Day, Joe.
No,
President's Day.
It's President's Day. And
we gotta keep it,
Yeah, I know. But
I'm gotta draw the lines.
You draw a line there, right? But for you, the president of your company, it's a President's Day for you guys out there.
Everybody. Well,
you're a president of whatever. A gift shop, a president
of your house, yeah.
You're the president of your house. You know what? It's your day too. So
happy President's Day to everybody.
Yeah.
If you get the day off, your kids get the day off school, happy President's Day to them as well.
Yeah, exactly. Now there's other fights coming up during the year, and that we're going to be. Talking about dream fights.
You want to talk dream fights?
Let's talk about the dream fight. Let's talk the middleweight division. Now we have
we're doing middleweight.
Well, we got Canelo Alvarez fighting Danny Jacobs.
That's a dream fight.
And that's coming up. May 4th here in Las Vegas. That's going to be a big fight.
Yes.
And I think that the fans are going to get a big treat that weekend, because that's a fight that Canelo says he's going to be showing the fans that he is the best that's out there. But I can tell you it's going to be a great fight. I got some friends saying, saludos amigos, Joe Cortez, DMB. Hi to you guys out there as well. Okay?
Hello, we love the shout outs.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'll tell you what, man. I've said this before. When Canelo Alvarez signed that 11-fight deal, we thought, okay, I guess we're not getting the Triple G rematch. Good for him. Way to become like I said, way to get your money, man. This is what boxing's about. Get in, get out, and move on and be a champion and make some money and come out with some money in your pocket at the end of it. But I didn't expect great fights out of it. I thought, we're not getting the trilogy, we're not getting this, we're not getting that. I felt kind of the way I feel about Tyson Fury right now. That's why I'm trying to stay optimistic.
Right.
So then he fights Rocky Fielding, this is hopefully the last time I'll ever say that name on this show. Anyway, he beat him badly. It was embarrassing. It was a bad fight, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, we have a better chance of seeing a Rocky Fielding trilogy than we do seeing a Triple G trilogy, than we see in Canelo in any actual trouble. And what do? They turn around, they bamboozle me. The Golden Boy did it again, and they made me look stupid, as they've done in the past. And they scheduled a Danny Jacobs fight for his second fight of an 11-fight deal. This is dangerous, Joe. He's a dangerous fighter. They call him the Miracle Man for a reason. I mean, he has a chance here, right? A real one. This is a real fight, right?
Exactly. The reason why they call him Miracle Man is because if you guys do not know, Danny Jacobs suffered from bone cancer, and he's a survivor. He's in remission now, and he's doing very well. I know him from the amateur days when he was coming up. And he told me the other day, I interviewed him, he told me, Joe, I feel like I want to thank the Canelo people, because I was surprised that they accepted me as a fight, knowing that how dangerous I am. He said. I mean, when he fought Triple G, a lot of fans thought that Jacobs beat Triple G.
Yep.
It was that kind of a fight.
It was a good fight.
So by Canelo fighting Danny Jacobs, it goes to show that he is a fighter that brings a lot of heart to the game.
I mean,
he's not running away from no. He said, you know what? Give me the tough guys.
He fought Floyd Mayweather like 20 years old, didn't he?
Yeah, he was young.
This was 23, something like that.
23.
He was young.
Yeah.
He fought the best fighter, one of the greatest of all time at 23 years old. He fought his biggest rival twice after, you know what I mean? There was too much. This is a guy who really is a true champion in a lot of ways. And I've said, I've been sometimes critical of Canelo Alvarez in some ways, and I gotta tell you, this fight really impressed me, and I can't wait to see what he's bringing to the table. He's the highest paid athlete in the world, and I love that he brings what he brings to boxing, and I love that he's doing what he's doing right now, man.
I agree 100%. I think that he's doing the right thing for boxing and for himself, especially for Mexico. The Mexicans were not happy when he fought Triple G the first time. they were booing him because he said he wasn't do so much to Triple G, and all he did was run a lot that night. But the second match, he showed the fans that he was not a runner. He's a fighter.
He changed his whole style. He looked absolutely unbelievable.
Well, that's what the Mexicans like to see. They call themselves warriors, and they're known for that. So he fought so well against Triple G. He went after him and took the fight. And still a lot of fans thought that Triple G won the fight.
Yeah. Well, you get biases, man. That's what I always say. I can't stand people. Every single fight that comes down to a decision in boxing today, because we live in the time of social media. Everyone has a voice, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, why is it, Joe, that every time, has it always been like this? If your fighter didn't win, it was a robbery? Is that how it's always been, or is it just that I see it now?
What it is, and I'm going to say it again, people have heard me say this before, raise the position of the judges. They can look down instead of looking from the regular standing position here. They can't see all the punches that are being landed. They've proven it over and over again. The fans at home got a better seat than the judges that are there live because they miss so many punches. So at home, for the camera angle, you see where the cameramen are up there, the cameras are looking down, you see all the punches landed by both fighters. When you're there in person, I can tell you, me sitting at ringside, I miss a lot of punches because you can't see them all because the judges, the referees in the way, or the angle of the fighter, you're going to miss a lot of punches. I don't know, maybe I should come back as a judge and try to convince these guys that, listen, let's raise the position of the judge. I proved to you in the study that I did, and I show you, cut a lot of controversial fights. They say the judges in California, the judges in Vegas, the judges in New York, judges in New Jersey. They criticize them.
They act like Vegas is the problem or England's the problem.
It's all over the world.
It's everywhere, right?
Until you raise the position, that will not change.
But I got a question. Are the fans to blame? I mean, that's really what I'm asking. Is it just because we have social media so much now so that you can hear all this? Or have people always been so quick to scream robbery whenever their fighter lost?
No, it's both.
Both.
It's both. But I say, if people say, why is it? What were the judges watching? Well, they're watching what
they can see.
What they can see, and you watch it better at home. And everybody at home is saying, wow, man, what were they watching? Well, they're not watching what you're watching. That's simple as that. But all that can be straightened out in the due time. Is Mauricio Suleiman told me, Joe, I know you did the study, and we said we're going to do it in Mexico with preliminary fights with the 4th and 6th rounders. Mauricio, you're listening out there. You promised me that we're going to raise the position of the judges for the study with preliminary fights. The chairs will be made like tennis chairs. They'll be made in acrylic so you can see through them. So the fans will be complaining that the judge is in the way. And that's the thing that's going to happen. Once that goes into play, that's going to be...
It certainly won't hurt it, man.
No,
I know you listen every week, so I really hope that you're listening right here because it's important that we get this done. You know what I mean? It's exciting. And
all sanctioning bodies, all sanctioning, IBF, WBO, WBC, IBF. You got to listen to me. I'm telling you, I've been in the business for so many years. I tell you, I did the study and I proved it. Up here, you lose only 1 to 2 punches per round per judge. On the bottom, you're missing anywhere from 9 to 19 punches per round per judge. So change the position and you'll see. You fans out there, start writing about it. Start complaining, making sure that they go with that study. If they don't try it, it's not going to happen. But they have to definitely try it. Now going down to the lower weight classes, what's happening with those little guys?
There's a lot happening with the little guys, man. We got a lot of, we just saw it with Leo Santa Cruz. We saw it with Oscar Valdez on a fight a few weeks ago on the undercard of the Kovalev fight.
Yeah. We're
seeing a lot of action down there. We're seeing a lot of action with prospects. We're seeing a lot of action with a gentleman who you've worked with, Devin Haney. We're seeing Shakur Stevenson. We're seeing Teofimo Lopez. A lot of these guys around 130 who may make it up to 147, 160, and not 160, but 154 in their career. These are guys who are working on it, who are trying to, who are building their resume. And we're seeing a lot of action down there for them. We're seeing Josh Warrington, who's really proven himself. I'm excited for him. I think he'd be a good matchup with Leo Santa Cruz. We're seeing the Gervonta Davis, who fought last week, who we talked about. He's exciting. I mean, really, we're seeing a lot more action down there than we're even seeing up top. And especially with this new deal, maybe more action than we will see. Yeah. What's the fight you're most excited for that's been announced? Well, meaning, is it Canelo Jacobs? Is it...
that's what I'm really all excited about, because that one is the one that's... Canelo is the most popular boxer
for a reason. Yeah, he's excellent.
Right now, it's a middleweight, and he's shown that he really wants to fight. He comes forward. He got good punching power. He got good defense. He's got a lot.
He's a pretty complete package.
And Danny Jacobs is tall. He's going to have a good 4 inches on Canelo.
Yeah.
He's tall. Danny Jacobs is about 6'2".
That's
6'1".
That's a big middleweight.
He's tall. He's about 6'1". I was talking to him. I was interviewing him the other day, and I had to be looking up at. He had to be at least 6'1".
That's big.
And he's solid, and he's so determined to become the best in the middleweight division.
I mean, that's a guy who you can never question his determination. He came back from bone cancer to fight for the middleweight championship of the world. I mean,
yeah, it's unbelievable. But that's boxing. Boxing fans out there, this is what we bring to you every week. Talk about the different fighters that are up and coming, and of course, some of the great ones that are in there right now. But of course, if you go down talking about the great fighters back in the days, it was back when it was really happening, back in the golden era. Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran.
Oh yeah, baby.
Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler. There were so many fighters out there. So much that was going on. So all I can tell you is that we like to see that come back again. It looks like
I agree. Happening. And you know what? We have some big welterweights right now that could make some noise. If Keith Thurman comes back, you have that. You have him, Spence, and Crawford as real opponents and real names out there. Especially if Mikey Garcia decides to stick around that division, which I think he's small for it. But either way, if he could beat Spence, he could beat anybody there, right?
Exactly.
But I ask you this: when you look at Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Gervonta Davis, you look at these four guys. If they're able to build their careers up the way we think they are and fight at possibly welterweight, all four of them. Can we look at is that, are we talking about something that,
Well, I know you fans out there today, President's Day, everybody laying back, taking it easy. So we're not going to rush into closing the show because we're getting into some good topics right now. Yeah, talking about those there.
And I'm not trying to rush into their careers either, but I'm saying, do we have a real possibility of seeing another golden era of these four guys? These guys have a lot of hype right now, and for good reason. They're all four very good, and they all fight in very similar, weight classes. I know Gervonta's older than them, but not by a whole lot. He's only 24, man.
But can you imagine those guys going? It's like when you had Fernando Vargas, Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad. You had all the guys.
All those guys, man.
I mean, all these guys are the welterweight and
those were beasts.
Super welterweight.
That's I was growing up in.
What's the name? Juan Marquez.
Yeah, Juan Manuel.
No, the other Raul Marquez.
Oh, okay.
He was a super welterweight that fought Fernando Vargas. Fernando Vargas won his first world championship, of which I referee. Those guys were the guys that were really keeping the boxing alive in that division, the welterweight, division.
The welterweight division right now has a chance to even do that.
Yeah,
they have a chance to do that right now. If Keith Thurman can show that he's back to full strength, Terrence Crawford can start. I know that he's with Top Rank and there's a lot of problems there, blah 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 blah. But he could start competing for these, for these other titles. They can start trying to unify. If Errol Spence can get done with what he should get done, I mean, just by pure probability, should get done against Mikey Garcia, we might have some real matchups to be made in that welterweight division. If Keith Thurman can say put Pacquiao away convincingly, something like that, then we have three guys up there that look really good.
And don't forget, Shane Mosley was one of those guys in the mix too.
Yes, he was. He was always there.
Yeah. All right, fans, listen, we're going to wrap it up for this week's show. Happy President's Day. Hope you enjoy it to the fullest. Relax, sit back, have a beer, enjoy yourself, and keep your guards up at all times. And remember, fans, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch them up.